No, that's it. I'm trying to process like
The
because I
thoughts.
think you guys have checkmated me, sha, but
About the absence of fatherhood in a male's child. Like, what's this English called? In a male's child line. Yeah. I think it's great. All right, guys, English accent. No wonder. So, what do you think is the importance of having a fatherhood figure in a male, like, as a grown up, young guy, as a grown up, like in a boy's life? What's the importance of to society? Because I feel like if you actually know the importance of this, you know, young men that never had fatherhood figure will start seeking for it, even despite the age. Yeah. As a young guy now, growing up, and you grow up with your parents, yes, you had your mom and dad. What was it like for you, like seeing your dad always around? You know, how was it having a father figure in your life growing up? Okay, first of all, my dad was always never around. Okay, my both parents were always never around. So okay. It could be us will be in the house from morning till night, just us and my siblings. My parents they go out very early in the morning, they come back late at night. Sometimes they don't even come back that day. They might just send us money. So when they now come back, it's the next day. The next morning they can only stay like 30 minutes and then they're out again to come back in the night. So well, I would say it was sort of good, because my parents like they were always there, like they've always been there until now. So I'd say it was beautiful growing up. Despite the whole we've had challenges in the past, family issues, family drama, but yeah, I would say it's been good. So basically, your two parents were alive, but they were not presently available for you. Is that what you're saying? They were okay, fine. They were presently available, but let me just give an instance. When I was in boarding school, um, when it's time for visiting day, okay, so um, I'll be like you see, well, you know that feeling when you see many people parents come in, yeah, you're just waiting. You don't even know if your parents are going to come, or they'll tell that they'll come, but you never see them on that day. Okay. And the way you not get to see them is at night at the security house, and you can just be there like 20 minutes. You'll be there 20 minutes. I say, how are you? How are you? How are you doing? They just brought this for you. You can't even carry it inside the hostel, so you have to like eat some there. Then the security allows you, then you can just carry it inside. So yeah, I would not say that they were never present, but they were just never available. Okay, because you were in a boarding school. No, because I was in a boarding school. Even while I was at home, it was always like that. Work. Even while I was even while I was in primary school, okay, it was always like that. They were just never available. So yeah. All right. So how was that show? So how was it like for you, like growing up, your parents, your mom and your dad? How was it like you having your parents on ground? How was it like growing up? You know, as a young guy, as a young boy back then. What was it like for you?
so me now, sha, I was not like actually had a very good childhood. Like I had a very very good childhood, and that is really one thing I just like admire my mom for. Like no matter what, she always made sure like she was always available. Like him now, if you are using political example now, my own students was like contract like the exact opposite of his own. My mom, I don't think my mom used to like go to 2 weeks for my whole secondary school. Like
Okay.
everything she always comes for. Like she always attends everything. So like and she told us that like she made a conscious effort, like she was intentional about being there for her children. You get so obviously as like my dad's late now, so but like as a parent now, him now, my dad now before he passed, like he was also busy with work too, but like he used to show up once in a while. But the fact that at least one of your parents is there, like when it comes to boarding school setting, is like it's like doesn't really affect that much. So like my dad wasn't always present, but he was present because like he had a lot of work, so he was present till like he passed and everything. So overall, I would say I had a good childhood. Like even when my dad passed, like obviously the impact will be there,
Yeah.
obviously. But I also thank God for my mom, like, cause like could have been worse. Like it could have been way, way worse because like most people now when their father died now, they will change them from their school, they will sort the
Yeah.
thing where
Yes.
all these things and everything. My mom always made sure that
That
even
absence
though
wasn't
exactly.
noticeable. Yeah.
Like even though it's not the same as she will be there because obviously like my dad like when he was like he had a lot of money back then and everything but like our standard of living did not change too much
Because your
Changed,
your mom intentionally said
yes,
that.
she was trying to make sure she
Provided for what you
provided so with the help of God and everything too. So the only place that I actually even feel is like I feel the absence of my dad is like because now my mom is obviously a lady and she does her best and everything but like sometimes as a man now you need like some like
Exactly,
real,
yeah.
like guidance like there are some things now that I know that even if I ask her like she will tell me but what she's telling me is no
compared to what the
it's
father
not
would tell you.
resonating like with like I don't know what to call him like his inner man or anything like that. I don't know because I just feel like some of her advice is just from a female perspective. Exactly. So yeah, so I think that is like the main aspect that misses absence too. So
Alright, guys, so you had them. Basically, today we're talking about the absence of fatherhood in a male child. That means growing up as a guy, what did it feel like having a father by your side? Or what did it feel like not having a father by your side? Growing up, young guys, growing up like in boys, like what's the importance of to society? Because I feel like if you actually know the importance of this, you know, young men that never had fatherhood figure will start seeking for it, even despite the age they are in. And I think there's no age for fatherhood. Even fathers can have fathers that can still so that there's no limits to how fatherhood can come. Or there's no limits to how much you can get fatherhood as training. But there's no even our fathers still have fathers they listen to. Your age you get. So like what's the importance of fatherhood?
I think we have also talked about it earlier, like he said earlier, guidance is quite a very important role in fatherhood.
Your mother cannot guide you.
well, like I said, you see, your mother can guide you. You know, see, a mother can guide you, but a mother is guiding you from her own life experience she has lived as a female.
Mm.
As a female, you've not lived the male experience, so you cannot. I feel like female, you cannot really tell a guy how to be like a man, because he did not go through the male experience. He did not. Okay, me, I've done this.
No, it's calm, it's calm.
See now, okay, now let me give an example. Now. Okay, as we dey like this now, as well, you know, as we dey face our life, like they know, like you living, you know, as we take them before I don't get money, you go see say like. Oh boy, be like say I could just run corn for the night or just talk. But now, guess now, if you don't do now, person will just send them, brother, like 5K, even like I say 5K, like take 1 million, all those kind of things. So like my nose that said like how to like live life as a man, life as a man, life as a woman is not the same.
Yeah.
As a man, always coming to
Save you,
like even your fellow men self, they will see you, they will not answer you, but girl, small like your small girl, we never even do anything with her life, guy. You that him say you are grinding to build something now, you see you have to just some support, they will not help you. But once money get now, they will just go down. So like the woman should not live the life as a man versus a man and a woman. So the women now they are thinking relationship, they're thinking, okay, I'm also better for me. But you now you're thinking, oh boy, guy.
so many things.
Boy, if I don't do this one, guy, my generation is
Like,
like,
brother.
So guys,
Brother.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what next again?
Could help me out.
okay, that's guidance, leadership. Because if man, the woman can try to be a leader, that one, but like leadership, like certain aspects of life, like I feel like the man like has to give you that. Then not just in
Leadership, guidance, that's what we've said so far.
Okay, I will talk about like relationship.
Yeah,
Okay, you could be better man than being a better. Because now, so say now a woman now, if a woman is giving you relationship advice, I'm telling you that
Like-
it's not something that you want to, because a woman will always tell you to treat your just treat her right. She will tell you how she want to be treated.
Yeah.
Treat me right, buy me flowers, blah blah blah. Always listen to your own blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But if you do all those things,
Like,
if you do all those things, so now as for me guy now that we grow around women and that so everything you not taste you. Yes, so they'll take care of your kids. We say, but don't make her the center of the universe.
yeah.
Just bring her to your world, all this kind of thing. So it also affects relationship with females too.
because the way the guy sees it is from a neutral point of view rather than an emotional point of view. Okay, you understand?
Okay, now let's imagine that aside women, aside the importance of fatherhood when it comes to women and all that, teaching your son how to treat men right, how to guide them, how does fatherhood impact a boy, a man, aside women related matters? Let's say career path. Let's say making decisions as a man.
Yes.
Let's say business. Let's say spirituality. How does it impact? What's the importance of fatherhood?
I feel like if your father has actually excelled well in his career path, and then you see how far he has come, you may also say that you want to follow his path. You want to continue. You want to strive to be like him. So you want to continue that family legacy. You don't want it to go down. So you'd push yourself. I feel like that importance also has to do with him mentally pushing you, which is the career part. You want to further your education. You want to be the best. You want to help out. Say, for example, if he has a business, um, let me say a mechanic business, you would want to be there to understand how it works, how the car works, what you can also do, how you can also help in any little way that you can, so that by the time he's not strong anymore, you can continue from there helping. So I feel like one of the importance is mentally impacting you.
So yes, I also concur with what he's saying. In the sense that now, basically, almost everything he said, like in terms of relationship, spirituality, career path. Now it boils down to the fact that setting like a good example.
Yeah.
So now, if you see that, okay, this is the path my dad took and he got in this far.
Yes.
You seeing it now, and you know that yes, like your father is also guiding you, he's always telling you what to do, like. Because some people also want their own parts in life. When you see something that you have worked with your father, and let me say now he's trying to, let me say your father has done well in life and he's trying to put you on the same, like you're going to see how, like everything he did, and you want to emulate it. If it comes to, let me say now your father now, his spirituality now that brought him thus far, you see that his work with God that means brought him to where he is, and you want to continue that legacy as he says. You also like as seen as a good example, you also stand and following that path. So good father will now also creates a path for you. Meanwhile, if your dad is not there now, you will usually not know how to go about some aspects of life.
And then one thing I also wanted to say is that how to know how good fatherhood is important to you. For example, when you were much younger, your dad told you don't do so and so thing, or do this and then you'll see results. As at that time, you'd be like, no, I'm not going to do it. No, I don't want to do it. No, I don't want to be here. No, I don't want to be in such a situation. No, I don't want to go there. Then years later, you finally think about that thing or whatever thing your father told you at certain times, and you just look at it and come and think, oh, so my dad was actually right. So if I had followed him at that time, I feel like it would have been beneficial to me. I feel like that is a very underrated and very important part of fatherhood that people tend to appreciate later on. They tend to appreciate it later on. So when they overlook it at first, then I feel like, okay, fine, it's not good for me. But when you finally look back and you say, oh, if you come this by a line, oh, I actually thank my dad. Silently.
Now we're talking about the positive aspect of fatherhood. I want to ask, is there a negative aspect to fatherhood? Can we say fatherhood? Is there anything like bad fatherhood?
But you said fatherhood comes to the term of like being a good leader and everything.
Yeah.
So fatherhood is not the essence of being. I don't think there's such thing as bad father, but there are bad fathers.
Yes.
There's no such thing as bad fathers, but they are bad fathers because their fathers now they are deadbeats, they are wives. They don't look after their children, they are deadbeats that
Yeah.
because that don't do their take care of their responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's seeing a child now, because obviously children learn by example. Seeing a boy now that sees his father talk to his mother anyhow, we just feel like women are nothing, women are rubbish. We just looking at you start beating themselves. So that's one too is the bad negative aspect of having of bad fathers, not fatherhood. So having a bad father too can also derail child's like thinking and the way it goes.
Okay, so now, if you were a father, for instance, you've grown up, you're married, you have children, and you're teaching your kids the art of fatherhood, and it happens to be that what you call, because fatherhood, like we said, fatherhood is setting an example, being a leader, setting a template for your children to follow, whether male or female. But in this particular, I was talking about fatherhood for males, rain males, right? So now, what happens if your child or your kids are not getting whatever fatherhood you're trying to show them? What happens if they're getting it somewhere else? For instance, you grow up to be a doctor, and you want your children to be doctors, yes, and then you're doing everything to that part, that career part. When you come to fatherhood, you're taking them to the best school, you're paying the best expensive, you're taking them on medical trips, you're giving them the best medical treatments, you're exposing them to medical stuff. That can also be considered as fatherhood, right? But now in this case now, your child is saying no, Daddy, I don't want to be this. I want to be a footballer. I want to be a gamer. I want to be a pastor. I want to be this. And they are now, fatherhood is emulating from somebody. It's like mentorship.
Yeah.
Now that child is getting that fatherhood from outside, and you're actually seeing that this child is becoming something outside. This is not who I am.
Yes.
How come you can speak like this? I don't talk like this. And it's not like what that person is emulating is bad. It's good. As a father, how do you cope with that?
Okay. Well, okay, first of all, we could use the popular musician, you all know Davido, as an example in this situation. He was in school, running the university. He did not finish because he wanted to pursue music. So he looked up to other popular musicians. His dad tried to stop him in so many ways because his dad wanted him to take over his business, handle a big part of his business. So his dad tried to stop him, set up so many obstacles, but he kept on pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And finally, the dad was like, okay, fine, let me let my son do what he wants. Let me let my son do what he's passionate about. So my point is that now is being able to handle such situation, nowadays you just have to, because okay, first of all, and parents make the best decision. I always believe that I want my child to do a profession I want for him, because we make the best decisions, we know what we want. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, because some children now, they may say, for example, I want to be in engineering now, but their parents are already seeing them as a medical doctor. You follow that medical doctor field, and then you see them excelling at it. So what I'm saying is that the right word to say is let your child do what he wants, but it doesn't always work like that. It doesn't always work in that part. So I just believe that sometimes it can work out that way, sometimes it doesn't, but it all depends on you. It all depends on the father. Is it that you want a child to, okay, fine, let him just follow his paths, let him just follow his dreams, or you can still decide to see him unhappy, because seeing your child not being happy, it doesn't make the father happy. So when you see your child happy, and then you see that what he's doing, he loves what he's doing, he's passionate about it, you'll be like, okay, fine, I think I can be at rest now. My child knows what you're doing.
One thing about it.
Me now, this is what it is, because we're saying the good fatherhood, what encompasses leadership.
Yeah.
This is where leadership comes in, like being a good leader now.
Yes.
Now, they say this, people are saying it takes a village to raise a child, right?
Yes.
So being a father now, it doesn't mean like now you must impose your ideologies on your child. It doesn't mean that,
because from your own perspective, if you're a father, let's say you're a father, you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Imagine you're the father and your children, because you you know how painful it is when you want your child to live after what you're not for.
Yes.
Somebody like me, right? I built on something, and I'm hoping that my male children would be able to take this thing from where I've left it
Yes.
to where I am. And then I'm seeing that child telling me that daddy, no, this thing is not what I want to do in life.
But it can't force. If you force the child, you end up being unhappy. And
No, no,
also
no,
make
no,
it
I'm okay. Now I'm saying let's not force the child, Then I'm saying, what should we do in that case?
in that case, yes, that is where the term leadership now comes in. You need to know how to manage the situation in which now you're not imposing your child. If your child wants to do something different, and
If your own child,
okay, see, my child wants to do something different now, and I want him to go in a particular line, and I'm seeing it's not working out. But it's going to breed strife between you and your child.
Okay.
Because it will
Your
bring,
own child?
yes, my own child. So
Okay.
it will bring strife and enmity, whatever, between me and my child.
Okay.
My own. And now, in order to manage that, now, if you could see that now this is not going to work out, now the person as the father is to support your child in what he wants to do. The same way that you support him if he's going towards what you want yourself, want him to do, if you want him to take over your business and he feels like he doesn't want to. The best thing, if you cannot force him, you will just support him in what he's doing. The same thing Davido's father did. He could not force him. He knew when to back off and let the child live his life. Because obviously now, if he ended up forcing someone to do, he will not be happy, number one. Imagine now you're forcing somebody now to be a medical doctor when he wants to be a musician. Like, and he goes to medical school, somewhere that doesn't, something that's as tedious as that. You need like passion for you to be able to go through all those rigorous training. So I feel in that aspect that a good father knows when to back off and when to assert his.
Okay. Now in this scenario now, how does father come to play in that scenario where you want your child to be this, because this is your legacy, this is something you're trying to build. There's no more time in your hands. You have only one son out of 5 female and all that. And that one son is refusing to be that. How do you implement good fatherhood that being fella?